Well, good afternoon and welcome everybody to this afternoon's Connecting Kansas Counties monthly. Actually, I don't know how I'd say that now. We have two webinars happening each month now. It's just become such a important program for counties. So this is the first one of two this month. And this one is, sorry, I got to get the right sheet of paper. This is our webinar presentation for Registered Apprenticeship in Kansas. And we've got Courtney Goucher.
Goucher, yes.
Did I say it wrong? Okay.
Nope, you said it right.
Who is the Apprenticeship Program Manager with the Kansas Office of Apprenticeship on with us. And Courtney, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the microphone over to you, and we look forward to seeing your presentation.
Sure, thanks for being here. So since it is such a small audience, it's going to be more of a conversation. I want to make sure that you guys have, if you have questions, that they're answered. And I do have a presentation, so I will share my screen. Okay. Can we see it?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So what we're going to learn today and what we're going to talk about today is what is registered apprenticeship, who is the apprenticeship system for, what occupations can you apprentice, the value of having a registered apprenticeship program, and then what's the state's initiatives, like what is the state of Kansas doing, why are we doing this, and we'll talk through some funding as well. So registered apprenticeship is a proven earn and learn model that business and industry drives. So when you are onboarding a new employee, you put them through some sort of training already, whether it's a few weeks or, maybe it's just a day or two of onboarding. There is some sort of training that happens for these new employees to get accustomed to the new occupation that they're in. A little history about me. So I've been with the Kansas Office of Apprenticeship since January of 2023. Before that, I worked for Bourbon County and I was the personnel director. So I worked under the county clerk. And I think that's really beneficial and valuable to you all because I have the inside, the inside scoop. I understand how a county is set up. I understand how it's ran. And I know where registered apprenticeship can fit. It can fit anywhere as long as it's not an elected official. So what is registered apprenticeship? It's completely employer design and driven. What this means is we help you create programs that fit your demographic of employees or your encumbered employees who would like some internal movement. We see this a lot in public works where somebody comes on in entry level and then they want to, work their way all the way as far as they can go. And registered apprenticeship can help doing that by offering structured on-the-job learning. What that means is you have a new employee or maybe a novice employee that you partner with a mentor because, as I know from the Public Works Department in our office and a lot of other offices for our county, is there's a large retirement population there. There's a large group of employees that are, within 5 years of retiring. And there's always a fear of, well, what happens when they retire? Who replaces them? Because they're subject matter experts. Many people retire from counties that have been there for 30 years. And so the knowledge that they have, we want to make sure we're transferring to the next generation of employee. And the best way to do that is to create a registered apprenticeship program and have those employees mentor. And I know this is going to come off wrong. And I know that people have this stigma, but it's a replacement. It's a terrible word, but they will have to be replaced when they retire. We don't want them to feel replaceable. However, we do want to ensure that production never stops, that whatever the job is, whether it is, in the clerk's office and there's from receptionist up to an election officer, essentially. We want to make sure that they're getting the proper training so that production, because this is taxpayers' money that, we are all using. So we want to ensure that everything's done correct and done correct the first time. So with that structured on the job learning, it's 2,000 hours. So it's 1 year is a minimum program. And that is a full-time job. This is not a part-time training program. It's a full-time job, and they are put into an apprenticeship training program. There's job-related instruction. So we call that RTI. What that is you partner with an external, either higher ed, so a local community college or a tech school. You can use online resources. You can create your own training internally, but there has to be theory or coursework, classroom work in relation to the on-the-job training. So they're getting a full picture of what the job entails. So like I said, you can work with external partners, or you can create your own internal type of training, but it does have to be a core curriculum of some sort. The minimum requirements for that is 144 contact hours per year. Throughout, there is wage progression. And I know that this is challenging for those that the elected officials maybe set a wage, what's the word I'm looking for? But the wages are set every year. And so the wage progression, it is required, but it can look different for everybody. It doesn't have to be a certain amount. The apprentices do have to make above minimum wage. There's not a cap, so you can pay them whatever you want, but the minimum is minimum wage. It doesn't matter when the incremental increases happen, as long as they happen. It can be 1 or it can be 2. And so you give a wage increase for skills that are learned, skills that those apprentices have mastered. You give them a little bit of an increase. I know from working at the county that the wages are not, nobody's getting rich working for a county. And so we do want to incentivize these positions a little bit. And this does help retain those employees for a very long time. The mentorship piece, like I said, you pair them up so that they feel they have a safe place to ask questions. They ensure that they're getting looked after. So the mentor is checking their work to make sure it's getting done correctly. And then at the end, they get a valued credential. So a valued credential, what that means is they're going to get a certificate of completion from the Office of Registered Apprenticeship. That credential does have reciprocity with all 50 states, depending on the occupation. And it is signed by the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor of Kansas, and then the director of our office. Her name is Shonda Anderson. And so that valued credential is similar to a diploma, or if somebody graduates from a college, it's very similar. So they could go to a different job and say, I am credentialed. And I know the question is, well, we don't want people to leave. The purpose is retention, but the purpose of the credential is for the apprentice to feel valued in their job. And you have offered that employee value. Do we have any questions about the 5 components of a registered apprenticeship? You can type them in the chat, or feel free to just ask me if you'd like. Nothing?
I don't see
Okay,
any.
we'll move on. Okay, that's all right. So who is the apprenticeship system for? So this is businesses with barriers to profit. If there's a skilled need, so going back to public works or law enforcement, sheriff's deputies, corrections, we can set up training programs for all of them. Hard to fill positions. Those 2 positions, corrections and public works, were the hardest for our county to fill and to keep filled. So a registered apprenticeship program really does help fill those positions with skilled workers. Rural, urban, I know a lot of the counties across the state, we deal with the rural piece, where are your workers at? Because maybe you don't have a lot of population. So this is very attractive to people to come into your counties as well. Who becomes an apprentice? Justice involved. I know people get, they question that. Well, somebody who has maybe, they have this history of being involved, but that you're a second chance employer. This is perfect, because a registered apprenticeship program gives that mentorship piece. So somebody is really coaching them through their job and ensuring that they're doing everything right. And it gives that person who's been justice involved a safe place. And so people really flourish when they're in a registered apprenticeship program. especially if they have a background as justice involved. And there's many occupations within a county that somebody who's justice involved can do, especially public works. So those are some ideas. People with disabilities, learning disabilities, people with, somebody in a wheelchair, they could totally work in the clerk's office. They could work in the treasurer's office. They could work, all across the courthouses. So youth opportunities as well. We can start apprenticing at the age of 16. That would be a part-time job for somebody at the age of 16. And it is a 2-year program. And so you get them the training that they need to be successful in that occupation. Displaced workers, I know in our county, we've had manufacturers closed and people only have manufacturing skills. Well, how are they going to be able to transfer over into something that they've never done before and they have no history of? A registered apprenticeship program can help seamlessly transition them into a brand new occupation. And diversifying your workforce. If you hire the same type of people for every job, you get the same type of work, essentially. So diversifying your workforce, it really opens up your pool of employment as well. You'll see that people are going to start coming in from surrounding counties or surrounding states just because you have a registered apprenticeship program. What industries are we apprenticing in Kansas? Well, there's over 1,200 occupations that we can apprentice by the USDOL standards. Hospitality, healthcare, human resources. Human resources is huge. So if any of you are human resources, if you have that background, or maybe you're in the clerk's office and you're doing a lot of that, or maybe you're a county administrator, Kansas SHRM has come on board with registered apprenticeship, and they actually are what we call a multi-employer intermediary. So they work with partners across the state to help build out registered apprenticeship programs for the human resources occupations. Education, we have teachers, advanced manufacturing, finance. We have finance positions across the state that are registered apprenticeship. We have an accounting manager who is in a registered apprenticeship program. They didn't have the education that they needed to get that management title, so we're upskilling, getting them the education that they need in order to be successful in that occupation, and has the proper training to ensure that everything is done correctly. As part of my former job working in the clerk's office, I understand that finance piece. When it comes to budget time, it's struggle, and you're doing valuations and assessments, and you're doing all of this stuff. But if you don't have somebody qualified, you can't make errors in that position. So we do need to ensure that somebody is trained, and they're trained appropriately. Energy, construction, agriculture, transportation. We have CDL-B and A programs across the state. I know that's big for public works. So we can apprentice all of that. What is the value? So the value is it's completely employer driven. So every office at the county could have a completely different model and completely different outlook on what's going on, because every county is set up differently, but every office is set up differently under the elected officials. There's a 96 improvement of company culture, 91 improvement of employee loyalty, 91 improvement of pipeline of skilled workers, because as you train up your apprentices and they become a journey worker, that essentially means they become the next mentor, and they then train up the next generation of apprentices. And so you have this continuous flow, this continuous pipeline of skilled workforce. 87% raise in productivity, because production doesn't have to stop. It continues as they learn. So you're never going to have to stop working and making sure that somebody has to leave to go to classes or whatever. You do it all at the same time. And then 76 future management development. So we can take your current employees, put them in a registered apprenticeship program, and upskill them into a management level. We have a program out in Hutchinson, Kansas right now, where their entire RTI program is centered around LinkedIn learning. So they're not paying a community college, or they're not paying for the education. They just pay for the LinkedIn learning, and they put them through management modules. And that qualifies as a quality education for what they need it for. So there's a lot of flexibility. You're never going to hear a no we're going to hear well, let's think this through and let's get creative because it's really designed to fit your needs. And then you can gain access to state and federal resources, such as state tax credits, technical assistance, and there's grant opportunities as well. So us as the state, we're here to walk beside you. We're not here to hurt you in any way. People don't really like the state meddling in their activities, but as a tax, as employer, like your employer is tax driven, so you know what that looks like. And so we walk beside you to build these programs with you to meet your needs. And then us, what we do is we can help connect you to funding opportunities. And then we can also offer that technical assistance and think through youth opportunities. This is our team. We have a team of 6. Shonda Anderson is our fearless leader. So she's the director of internships and apprenticeships. Andre Heath is our deputy director. I'm the program manager. Jamie is another program manager for our Meadowlark grant. Sarah and Johnny, they're brand new. And so we're spread out across the state and we work all over. So we are border to border and we travel. So we can come to you if you ever have questions or maybe you need a presentation. So Johnny is in Hayes, Sarah's in Wichita, Jamie and Andre are in Manhattan, and then Shonda's in Topeka, and I'm in Fort Scott. So we kind of meet all of the state of Kansas needs, and we have the ability to come in person and just sit down and really chat through what's going to work for you. Our vision and our mission is to become one of the top 25 states by year 2025, which is next year. We're currently sitting at 38th overall. And so what that means is the more programs that we create and the more apprentices that we bring on, it pushes us up. So our partners or our neighbors to the east, Missouri, they are roughly sitting in the top 10. So of course, we're a little competitive and we want to beat them. But so what that means is we're trying to build apprenticeship programs, but it's also because we truly believe in what's happening in the registered apprenticeship space. And I encourage you to do some research and just really feel it out. You can look at our website and we have videos from partners that have won awards in the state of Kansas, state businesses, and that really you hear from the apprentices of what it's doing for them in those occupations. And our mission is to meet the needs of Kansas economy. So what is happening in the economy is we have low unemployment rates. So where are we getting our next employees? Where are they coming from? Are they going to be skilled in what they need to be skilled for them? Or do they have a 4-year degree in art and then they're coming to work in the treasurer's office or the clerk's office or the appraiser's office? And so they're learning a brand new skill. Well, how are they going to learn that and how are they going to learn that? Well, registered apprenticeship can be definitely a great tool. Like I said, we're a resource provider. We convene partnerships, so we help connect all the people together to make sure that everybody's working like a well-oiled machine. And then we have our Kansas Apprenticeship Council, which we also call the CAC, kind of funny. So we have the CAC, our CAC, and it is made up of 13 members. They're union, non-union, they're education, they're small business owners. They're in healthcare, education, IT, skilled trades. They're from all over. It's very diverse. And what they do is they vote on all of our programs to ensure that we're A, meeting federal minimum requirements, and B, that it really is meeting the needs of Kansas. You know, a submarine operator is not really meeting the needs of the Kansas economy. However, an underwater welder might be because of lakes and power plants. So they're here to assess and ensure that we're doing the right things. Some major funding initiatives. So this is what we currently have. We've been awarded that we're under the Department of Commerce. We are new office. So that means we were established by the Governor Kelly in 2022, September of 2022. We used to be under the umbrella of Kansas Works. That's why our logo says Kansas Works, but we are our own office. So we are the Office of Registered Apprenticeship, but we all follow under workforce development. So it's really cool. We're that new, and this is what we've been awarded because we've really been doing some amazing things across the state. So we were awarded $500,000 for a KOA project. We were awarded $13 million for our Kansas Apprenticeship Tax and Grant Act. And so let's chat that through. For a nonprofit, we have a grant. It's $2,500 up to 20 apprentices in tax grant funds. So as you file taxes, if you have up to 20 apprentices, that means $50,000 that you could get in grant funding to help cover the cost of those apprentices, such as paying for their related technical instruction. For profits, it's $2,500, also up to 20, and it's used in the same manner, except that is in a tax credit instead of a grant. We have the Meadowlark. We were awarded $6.3 million last year to help expand registered apprenticeship. And so we're working with our local workforce boards, which is Kansas Works, across the state to help facilitate and build out programs. The SAEEI project, so this is the grant that I am the manager on. It's a $5.6 million grant initiative. It sunsets June 30th of next year. And this project is to help expand in manufacturing, healthcare, and in IT, which could really help you in the county space in your IT departments, help to maybe bring in a help desk technician or a cybersecurity analysis or whatever to really help elevate your IT office. And I could connect you to some grant funds to help kick that off. So if you're interested, let me know. And then the Kansas Youth Apprenticeship. So we were awarded 6 states out of all 50. We were picked as one to help kick off youth apprenticeships and develop a definition of what does that look like. And so what that looks like for Kansas is a paid employment and training opportunity that starts as early as 16. And so we can get the youth involved. This is not an internship where it's a short-term employment opportunity. This is a job. This is hopefully a permanent job. They could start at 16, work, 10 hours a week, supplement with their high school education and maybe a college course where maybe they're going into finance and they want to become the next county administrator. Maybe they want to become a sheriff deputy. Maybe they want to be the director of public works. Maybe they want to be the next treasurer. Really, the opportunities are endless when it comes to what we can do in counties. So if you'd like to learn more about where youth can do, we do follow federal child labor laws, and there are 7 exemptions, which means in a registered apprenticeship program, you can hire a 16-year-old as long as they are registered. They can run chainsaws. They can do, they can run some heavy machinery. They can do a lot of things. So, but they do have to be registered to do that. And you can learn more at our website, or I'm happy to have additional conversation. Do we have any questions so far before I move on? No? Okay. Well, I hope you all are absorbing and you're professionals. So I would like to invite you all to our apprenticeship dinner bell calls. And this is, Kim, this is something you could put on your newsletter as well, if you'd like. The second Wednesday of every month at 10 a.m., it's a standing call. You just scan the QR code, it sends you to our website, and there's a link where you just click it and you can come onto our calls. It is our monthly call where we meet with all of our partners across the state and we discuss what's happening in registered apprenticeship, what's happening at the federal level, what's happening at the state level, also what's happening at the local level. And it's a time where sometimes we'll bring in a guest speaker. We've brought in Portia from Germany. We've brought in apprentices. We've brought in the lieutenant governor. We've brought in other state directors. And they just talk about the expansion of registered apprenticeship and really what it's doing for the apprentices and for the company, because the return on investment is impeccable. You're not going to beat it. So I highly encourage you to join these calls to really learn more about what's happening. Currently, right now, at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see 4,400 total apprentices in the state of Kansas. That has gone up 100% since this time last year. So we have 100% increase in 1 year. This is due to being fully staffed, but also due to the funding that we have received from the USDOL. And currently in Kansas, we are at this was the, I think last year, like right at the end of the fiscal year, we received the number. We have 172 occupations. I know that has increased, but we can even apprentice occupations that the USDOL says are not apprenticeable. And the way that we do that is our council, our 13-member council votes on them and says, yes, if there's a need in Kansas, we can absolutely do that. And so we can really apprentice almost anything. That's it for my presentation. I do have my contact information up on the screen. If you would like to reach out to me privately, my email and my cell phone number is up there. It is my work cell phone number, not my personal. And so please feel free to get in touch with me. You can visit our website at ksapprenticeship.org and kind of feel out what really is going on. This is just a high-level overview, but I would love to connect with you further. We do have multiple counties across the state that are actively participating. And so I could connect you to them so that you could really pick their brains and see if this is an opportunity that would work well for your county. So I'm happy to have a Q&A if you'd like.
Does anyone have any questions? Courtney, that was a great presentation. I mean, wow, that's really just, I would have never imagined there was that much going on with the apprenticeship program. So I've just learned a lot, I know. Does anybody on our call have any questions for Courtney? Courtney, I thought it was interesting hearing about the county manager.
Yeah.
That's
We can do anything.
That's amazing. Kelly says, thank you, Courtney. I can't get my mic to work, but I have a question.
Sure.
Okay. So Kelly, can you type your question in the chat box? And then Brenda's asking in the meantime, what kind of turnover is there in the program?
That really depends on the program. So what right now, and I can show you, there's a 91% retention rate. And that rate is figured at 5 years after the completion of the apprenticeship program. So apprentices are staying on for at least 5 years or more after completion. The turnover rate, I don't have a stat on that right now, but I can tell you it is really low. Really low.
Brenda, did that answer your question? And Kelly's typing her question, I think. Yes, Kelly's going to type her question. Okay. Brenda said, yes, you answered her question. Okay, Courtney, it says, Kelly says, I have contacted our community college and can't seem to get this going. You did mention a community college. How do you and they work together?
Absolutely. This is a great question. Community colleges are some of our biggest partners. We've really worked diligently the last year to bring them on board. They have funding that can help. They have funding through KBOR to help really develop registered apprenticeship. So most of them are new to this. However, Hutchinson Community College is outstanding at registered apprenticeship programs. They have like 26 programs. They've helped serve like over 300 apprentices. That's in healthcare, manufacturing, IT, education. They internally have apprentices hired on. So I can connect you with Dave and Amy, who's at Hutchinson if you're, in the western half of the state. If you're in the eastern half of the state, we have, more central is Butler Community College. That's towards the Wichita area. On the eastern side, we're slower over here. They're coming on board, but they haven't signed the documents yet. Up in the city, we have Kansas City, Kansas Community College, who is really working diligently to create programs in advanced manufacturing and CDL drivers. We have some tech schools. So Dwayne Peasley Tech in Lawrence, Kansas, they're professional at registered apprenticeship. That's all they do. And they have occupations across every sector. So it is happening. Would you mind telling me where you're located and what college you're wanting to connect with?
Okay. Kelly, do you want to, Garden City Community College.
Oh, yeah. Garden is participating.
So Shelley asks, with the partnership with Butler Community College, do they have any working in their satellite office in Council Grove?
Great question. I can find out. They have right now cement masons and in the hospitality industry. But I know that they are willing and they are ready to do whatever and expand. So we can connect. If you want to send me an email, I'd be happy to connect you to John. John Kressler is who's working in their workforce education piece.
Okay. Thank you
And then
for
Kelly, Garden City Community College, you'll want to connect with Stephanie Knight. She is their apprentice coordinator at Garden City.
Okay. You saw her question. Did you see Kelly's last question?
No, I
She
didn't. I don't have that.
She said, sorry for the spelling. Yes, they are, but we seem to be in a lull and I just need additional help to get this going. So I think maybe the question was answered with what you just shared. Oh, and Kelly says, yes, I have. I will give her a call again.
Yeah, for sure. And if not, send me an email and I'm happy to give them a little boost.
Awesome. And I
Because
will go ahead,
they're
Courtney.
new, they're newer to the registered apprenticeship space. So sometimes, they just have questions and we just need to get the right people in the room to ask those questions.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say too, maybe, I don't know, Courtney, if you could do this, but maybe get on with Kelly and Courtney and
Stephanie, I'd be happy to.
yes.
Happy
I'm
to.
sorry. I was like, if you get too many names over here on the screen.
Yep. We do that all the time. I'm happy to join meetings and hold discussions.
Okay. And Kelly followed up with, okay, I don't think it's them. It very well could be me not understanding completely. And then she said, if you all three talked, then she says, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have my email address, Kelly, up on the website or up on the screen. Please feel free to send me an email at any time to convene that meeting. I'm happy to convene it on your behalf or facilitate it. Or if you want to set a meeting with Stephanie and bring me in, I'm happy to do it however.
Perfect. And Courtney, remember I was telling you, and for the 5 of you on today's call, you're going to get a sneak bit of information, but KAC, whether you know or don't know, we've done a soft launch of a new database, and there will be lots more to come on that. We are also doing a brand new website for KAC, and so we are very ecstatically excited, trust me, about it. It will be a work in progress, but things such as this with Courtney, contact information for the apprenticeship program, will actually live on our website. It'll be part of the Connecting Kansas Counties module within it. Just trust me when I say there's going to be so many resources for you, our members, that you're going to be able to see at any given time. Our website is moving into the 21st century. And just as a FYI, it's going to be learning for all of us because our 2024 conference registration will also be done through the new website and the new database. So we've got lots of exciting stuff ahead, and we know you guys will be excited too. So just stay tuned. I'm excited for the tools and the information you all can access at any time, not just something we throw up once and then it kind of disappears. We're going to have that ongoing availability for you to see funding opportunities and the programs that are available for counties, et cetera. So really just stay tuned. You are probably, outside of the board, some of the first people to kind of hear more about this. Does anybody have any additional questions? Because I know Courtney had a lot in that PowerPoint, and given whichever channel path you decide to take. But Courtney, it sounds like you've already got a lot of counties working with the program, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, we have quite a few counties and even more cities. We have a lot of cities working, especially we have a lot of electricians and water and things like that. So we can really apprentice almost any occupation. We just want to ensure that there's skilled workers in your offices.
Perfect. I think we did have a city person on with us too. I think I saw somebody from a city was even on. So yeah, we get a lot of diversity in our calls a lot of
I
times. So
love that.
it was great. Like I said, it's not always quantity, but it's the quality that counts. So um, Courtney, if you will send me your PowerPoint,
Yeah.
the recording link and the PowerPoint presentation will be available in tomorrow's newsletter. And as well, we'll get onto the website, as onto the new website where it can live permanently once once I get it built out. And just for those who are on the call, we also do have a webinar presentation next Thursday, and that is introducing the Kansas Ecological Review Tool. And this will be presented by the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. We have sent information out on that, so check that out. And we also have, I might mention, coming up in July and August, we have, backed by popular demand, we've got the Sovereign Citizen Extremism presentation that was shared at the 2023 KAC conference. We are presenting that both July 18th and August 22nd. So we wanted to be sure to give counties a look at that, and that includes a brief description of domestic terrorism and the current subcategories of the current domestic terrorism threats, followed by an in-depth look at sovereign citizen extremism, what they believe, who they are, and sovereign citizens indicators. And I know they also touch on the First Amendment stuff as well. So with that, Courtney, do you have any closing comments you'd like to share?
No, just really, I mean, honestly, feel free to email me any questions, or if I need to join in any meetings, I'm happy to come present at a commissioner meeting or do whatever I need to do. We're happy to accommodate you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you again, Courtney, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in December, if not before then. Yes, Kelly, I will check to see if you are on the list. You should be, but I will double check and get back with you most definitely. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us for this afternoon's call. And as always, we are here to assist you. And Courtney, I look forward to talking and seeing you again too in the upcoming months.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
everyone have a great day and happy summer.
Thank you.
Bye.